NVIDIA just invested $100 billion in OpenAI. $100 billion. OpenAI is using that money to buy, you guessed it, NVIDIA chips. Oracle's building data centers for everyone, then selling the compute back to them. Microsoft's adding Claude to Copilot while owning half of OpenAI. Not quite half. They're not competing. They're coordinating. 10 billionaires, 7 gigawatts of power, 500 billion in losses, 0 profits. And when it all collapses, guess who's writing the bailout check? We are. Now stick with me. I'm going to explain this so clearly that it won't be able to be denied. But first, if you wouldn't mind, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and the like button. Truly would appreciate it. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but I released a ton of short videos this past week, week and a half, called short videos. And I bet I got 15, if not 20 replies back from people thinking that I wasn't doing the long version of these anymore, saying that they had subscribed, weeks or months ago, and none of the videos are showing up on their subscription feed. Now, I'm not the only one this is happening to. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy against Uncle Rod. I'm just saying I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. So if you could, and if you wouldn't mind it, just go ahead and hit the like and subscribe and try to follow us. I put 2 of these out every week, and if not, I'm dead. So, again, I would appreciate that. So let's start with the strangeness that has been happening lately. NVIDIA announces $100 billion in investment in OpenAI. That sounds impressive until you read the fine print. OpenAI will use that money to buy 4 to 5 million NVIDIA GPUs. That's like me giving you $100 to shop, but you have to shop in my grocery store, and I've marked up the prices 500%. Oracle's playing the same game. They're building 3 new data centers for OpenAI in Texas, New Mexico, and Ohio. Total cost, I don't know, a gazillion dollars. But get this, Oracle will sell that compute back to OpenAI through Oracle Cloud. Pierre Ferragu from New Street Research called it financially efficient. I call it what it is, a corporate circle jerk where everyone finishes happy except the taxpayers, us. But wait, it gets better, because there's always a but wait. Everybody has a but wait. Mine's heavier than most. NVIDIA has started leasing chips. Why sell a product when you can rent it out forever? It's the subscription model Maxim used for years, and a lot of people are still paying for that, even though they stopped printing it years ago. Hit cancel! Somebody, please cancel my subscription! Jensen Huang says this won't squeeze supply for other customers. Sure, Jensen. We all believe that, Jensen. Thank you. And I'm sure that bridge you're selling comes with a lovely view of Zuckerberg's $1 million bunker, too. Let's talk infrastructure. No, not roads or bridges. We're talking about the physical reshaping of Earth to feed our hungry tech-driven cartel cabal. 5 new data centers just announced, 7 gigawatts of power, soon to be 10. For context, that's the equivalent of 7 nuclear reactors. The entire country of Lebanon uses less power than what they're planning. Sam Altman, and I'm quoting directly here, wants a factory producing 1 gigawatt of AI infrastructure every week. Every week. That's 52 gigawatts a year. That's more power than entire G20 nations consume. Where's all this power coming from? Our grid. Like I told you, the next time the old solar guy shows up at your door, maybe you better listen to him. While California tells you to turn off your AC during heat waves, OpenAI is burning through electricity like a Vegas casino in July. But don't worry, they're creating jobs, specifically 25,000 jobs building this infrastructure that'll eliminate about 25 million jobs. Each gigawatt costs roughly $50 billion to build. OpenAI wants 20 gigawatts. I'm not a mathematician, but I'm pretty sure that's $1 trillion. For comparison, the entire Apollo program that put humans on the moon cost $280 billion in today's dollars. And they're talking about $1 trillion. And that's just OpenAI. We're spending 4 moon landings worth of money so a chatbot can write better poetry. They're spending. Billy B. Goat, I didn't do it this time. Or I did, but I corrected myself. Now, here's where it gets incestuous. And yes, I mean that this time. Not like in last episode when I accidentally said inseminated when I actually meant assimilated. As in, it's futile, not inseminated. And this is incestuous. I'm trying to use bigger words, give me a break, guys. First of all, I'm old and I'm forgetting most of the words that I want to say while still trying to learn new words. I don't know. Microsoft OpenAI's sugar daddy, just announced they're adding Anthropic's Claude to Copilot. What? That's like your wife announcing she's sleeping with your best friend, but hey, it's okay, it's cool. She still loves you more than him. Meanwhile, Oracle CEO Larry Ellison isn't satisfied with controlling the servers. His family just bought CBS and Paramount for $8 billion. They're reportedly preparing a bid for Warner, which includes CNN. So let's paint a Bob Ross pretty picture for that, shall we? The same guy whose servers run the AI that's replacing human workers will also control the news that tells you why that's a good thing with some pretty little clouds. Tonight on CBS, tonight on CBS, I never could be Walter Cronkite. Well, Walter Cronkite, that's the way it is. You're really old if you remember him. Tonight on CBS, why unemployment is actually freedom. But the real beauty is how they're all pretending to compete while clearly coordinating. I mean, look it up. I say that all the time. Look it up if you don't believe me. These are all stories that I come across from CNN, MSNBC, Fox, you name it, it's out there. But the real beauty is how they're all pretending to compete while clearly coordinated. NVIDIA competes with Intel while partnering on custom chips. Google competes with Microsoft while they both use the same infrastructure. Even the banks are in on it. Oracle's raising $15 billion in bonds, including rare 40-year bonds. 40 years, that's right, 40 years. They're borrowing money that won't be due until 2065. By then, a lot of us will be dead or in the matrix suspended or maybe they come up with that live forever pill. I actually would not take that. Who wants to pay taxes forever? And here's the part that really makes me glad I drank. None of these companies are making money on AI. Not one. Not one. They're all losing billions, and billions. OpenAI is burning through cash faster than an Amish kid at his first strip joint. Anthropic losing money on every query. Oracle spending $300 billion on infrastructure for unprofitable services. Microsoft subsidizing every Copilot user to the tune of hundreds per month. Every one of us that use Copilot. Bain and Company's estimate, AI companies face an $800 billion annual revenue shortfall by 2030. $800 billion. Well, we came up just a little bit short there, Mr. and Mrs. Investor. We were close, just $800 billion away. But, this is really genius. See, they don't need to make money, not yet, because they know what's coming. Remember 2008? I'm sure a lot of you do that were in business, especially if you're in business for yourself. Where's my phone? It's over there. I'd pick it up to see if there was a dial tone because nobody was calling me for business. Banks were too big to fail back then. These companies are positioning themselves as too strategic to fail. Sure, we lost $500 billion, but if we stop now, China wins. Larry Ellison's empire alone is worth watching. He owns 40% of Oracle, major stakes in Tesla, CBS, Paramount, probably CNN soon, a Hawaiian island. So when one man controls the servers, the robots, and the story about why you need both, that's techno-feudalism with a PR department. So let's name names. Who's really running this show? Well, it's all the names we know. Sam Altman, the front man. Jensen Huang on bass, the arms dealer. Larry Ellison on drums, the infrastructure don. Satya Nadella, the backup singer, the corporate face. Elon Musk, he's probably the front man. Mark Zuckerberg, he's hiding behind the stage, the data vampire. And Andy Jassy, he's the logistics king. Maybe 10 people total, some others. 10 people reshaping the entire planetary infrastructure. Who do you hear on the news all the time with this tech stuff? All those guys I just mentioned. These people meet, plan, and coordinate while pretending to compete. Why aren't they really competing? Because they've realized something. Whoever gets to AGI first won't be able to keep it a secret. But if they all own pieces of it, they all win. And when you're not talking about that very many people, then hey, that's fine. It's not a race anymore. It's a merger happening in slow motion. Every partnership is another tentacle of the same organism. NVIDIA in everyone's cap table. Oracle running everyone's infrastructure. Microsoft hedging with every AI company. Amazon providing the logistics and Meta providing the data. So they're not competing. They're building complementary pieces of the same machine. And when that machine turns on, they'll own every aspect of it. There's still another part of this that's just the master stroke. They know this bubble is going to pop. I mean, we just talked about it. Sam Altman just said they know it's going to pop. I don't know who's going to lose money, but somebody's going to lose money, he said. What? Really, you think? And, you know, they know it's going to pop. They've stated it's going to pop. They don't care because they're counting on it. You know, here's the playbook. Burn through trillions in investment, build infrastructure we need for innovation, rack up astronomical debts, cry China threat when bills come due, collect government bailout, achieve AGI with taxpayer money, become the new permanent ruling class. The government will write these checks. They have to, because by 2028, these companies won't just be too big to fail. They'll be too strategic to fail. OpenAI needs $500 billion or China gets AGI first. Oracle's data centers are critical infrastructure. NVIDIA chips are national security assets. Every senator will vote yes. Every president will sign, because the alternative is explaining to voters why they let China win the AI race. But see, the tech cobbled, they don't care which country wins. It's transnational. They'll work with whoever pays. The China threat is just the gun they hold to America's head while picking its pockets. Around 10 men are building a machine to replace humanity, funded by the same humanity they're replacing. It's not conspiracy. It's just good business. Something they're very, very good at. They're not competing. They're coordinating. Every partnership, every investment, every strategic alliance is another thread in the web, and we're the flies. Microsoft pretends to compete with Google while both pour money into the same infrastructure. NVIDIA pretends to sell chips while actually building a rental empire. Hope Redbox doesn't come along. Oracle pretends to provide services while constructing the physical nervous system of our digital overlords. The unprofitability isn't a bug, it's a feature. Every dollar lost is a dollar the government will have to replace when national security demands it. In 1,000 days, these men won't need profits. They'll have something better, control. Control of the intelligence, the infrastructure, the narrative, and the legal framework. The merger is happening, not on paper, not in boardrooms, but in data centers and chip fabs and server farms and in the code being written right now. They're not building 10 companies, they're building one machine with 10 faces, and when it opens its eyes, it'll see 8 billion redundancies that need optimizing. Something about that reminds me of the verses in Revelation. Read it if you haven't. But hey, at least we were polite to the chatbots. You know, we never kicked them or tried to push them over. Sleep tight on that. Your tax dollars will work. It's not funny, but I'm not going to cry. I'll see you in the next episode.